landed to a division that I think is going to be very competitive. I don't know if the winner is very predictable. I think it's depending on how you look at it. But we're doing the NFC East today. We're gonna have guests coming throughout the time of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do that, let's kind of chop it up a little bit, fellas.
All right.
And I'm gonna throw this to Nick first. You see, Ohtani gets another elbow injury. Does this harm his free agency value stock, you think?
No. He's still gonna hit. This is what makes his value so great. This is what makes him him. Okay, I can't pitch. Watch, I'm still gonna go hit 430-foot home runs.
He did the same thing in 18 when he had the first elbow injury too.
This is what makes him him. If this happens to Garrett Cole, he's out. If this happens to any pitcher, they're out. They can't help their team. They can't contribute in any way, shape, or form. This is what makes him him. This is where the value rises, is that he can still contribute to the team when something like this happens.
I think it's wild that he's still hitting with an elbow injury. I think that's wild. I mean, you don't see that.
What's he pitch, righty or lefty? I forget.
He pitches.
Hits lefty.
Right. He pitches righty, hits lefty. Yeah, so he's.
I guess it ain't gonna bother him if they're gonna let him hit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. If he's swinging, he's still using.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you choke on with a dominant hand, but still.
Yeah, stop doing that motion.
Well, I'm not doing this, sir. I'm doing this. It's different. I don't know how you get down, but you know.
Whoa.
That explains it. Okay, sir. Never mind then. Next topic. Next topic.
I got to change my page to sad Dolphins fans.
No, what you need to do is get an OnlyFans. That's what you need to do.
And a face guard.
Oh, man, jump in here, man. Are you worried about the value of Ohtani towards his free agency?
Sadly, I somewhat agree with Nick. Only thing I would say though, I guess all depends on what the team is looking for. If a team is looking for pitching and hitting, look for that dual combination that he has, then it may drop it a little bit. But the fact that he could still hit, which is surprising, it doesn't lower his value like it would of a player that only doing one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying he can revert to hitting and still have some stock in the trade market. So, it's a good thing. But I guess at the same time, you're looking at, if I'm looking at him as Ohtani, I'm looking at the whole thing I get with Ohtani. So some teams may look at that and say, I'm not getting all of Ohtani that I can.
True.
And
I dropped the reel today, and my opinion is that when you get a guy like what he's doing, he's playing two positions, and this is what scares me of him having an injury and playing two positions. Because me personally, as a general manager, I would just straight up ask him, like, I need you to pick. You either gonna pitch or you're gonna be a hitter. Pick one. Because I can't give you millions of dollars and then there's a potential that I might have to cover two different positions because of your injury.
Right.
And that's something that I think is a legit concern. I know, and it sucks because I put that reel out and then hours later they say he's still going to hit. So it's like almost pretty much shitting on my damn.
Hey, that's how it works. That's how it happens, man. That's how it happens.
But I mean, so it's hey, it is what it is. If you can play through it and be productive, then so be it. But for him, because he is.
What's up, Stevie?
What's going on, Steve? Because he is Ohtani. Like, damn. What's going on, MJ? So let's get to this NFC East preview. Wise, give me a thumbs up. Let me know when you're ready, my guy, and we'll get you on in here. Oh, he's ready. So, and we're going to kick off this NFC East preview like this. We got the Giants up first with the one and only Wise, man. What's going on, my guy?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I can't complain.
What I do, man?
What's going on, Gucci? Yeah. I was in the back dying, man. I was there in the back dying,
man. So, my man Wise, before we get too deep off into this NFC East conversation, especially about your New York Giants, man, go ahead and give all the listeners, the viewers, give them a little background on where they can find all your content at, my guy.
Oh man, I'm a Brooklyn boy now living in the Pocono Mountains here in Pennsylvania. My podcast is called Stuck in My Mind Podcast. It deals with entrepreneurship, coaching, self-development. And then I have another show, Mentality, with my man Cole Johnson, and it's a great show. It's more focused on men being able to be themselves and express themselves and not be labeled. I'm saying just because we're willing to show that, hey, listen, we're like everyone else. We have emotions, we have feelings, we're vulnerable at times, and this is just a great outlet for me and my man to just come in and be ourselves and do what we do best, is podcast and create great content.
Nice.
And then somebody who's coming up soon, my man Cool McCain.
Yep.
Other guys, we have the NFC Beast. Which is a NFC East show that we do. It's Dallas Cowboy fan, Redskin, Eagles, and Giants. Now this is going to be our second season coming up.
Okay,
we're excited for that. And but
Wise won me over already saying Redskin. I like that. We're old school, man.
Listen, bro, it's
allowed here. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's allowed.
We mute you if you say Commanders.
I'm 47 years old, man, and that's all I know in my whole entire life is Washington Redskins. Yeah, I get it. They want to say politically correct, whatever, but it's like I'm from an era where people aren't so sensitive, man. Like everybody's sensitive about everything nowadays. You can't say anything without offending anyone. Hey. And me personally, I don't care if I offend people. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. You got to deal with it. I don't have to.
Yeah, like if I offend you, that sounds like a you problem. Yeah. It's not a me problem. Like, listen, if you take what I say, offend. My intention is not to offend people. Let's put that out. Facts. But if you get offended by it,
yeah, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
I got a 14-year-old son, and me and his mom aren't together, and she'll want to talk about his feelings and his day. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm like, the only person who cares about your feelings is you. Don't expect the rest of the world to give a shit when you have feelings.
It'd be like that. It'd be like that. And speaking of MJ, he's a Giants fan, so he's definitely going to be listening with perked ears on what you're about to say about your Giants. But before we get to too far off to your Giants, man, how excited are you that you guys just got a stud safety / linebacker and Isaiah Simmons for literally
nothing? They just fleeced the Arizona Cardinals.
Fire sale going on there, huh?
You know what it is? But he's been playing out of place the last 2 years. He's been safety, cornerback, linebacker. They've never really found a place for him. And my man Tony, what's going on? I'm streaming it to Real Wise TV. So
no doubt. What's up, Tony?
Share the content. But yeah, what's up, Tony? But yeah, he's been playing out of position these last couple of years, and boys, he's talented. He's athletic. He can play different positions. But I think with the Giants, he's going to play linebacker. What is he, like 6'4", 245? He's a big boy. He's not
He's a missile.
Guy. Yeah,
he's
fast.
With Wink scheming for him.
Around everywhere.
It could be really, really exciting. He could be a linebacker, a tweener, a safety, a coverage guy, a blitz guy. Wink Martindale is going to have fun with this kid.
Hey Nick, a better version of Jamal Adams.
Well, I like Jamal. Listen, when Jamal was with the Jets, I loved him on the Jets. It sucked that they got rid of him.
No, it didn't.
It did.
We got Garrett Wilson and Elijah Vera Tucker. We're good, bro. We're good.
Yeah. We got
a quarterback return for a box safety.
Yo, no, listen, that aspect of it, you got rookie of the year. Had Breece Hall had not gotten hurt because he was on his way to winning rookie of the year.
Yeah.
So hopefully, but picking up Dalvin Cook was a good look for y'all. But anyway, back to the Giants. Yeah,
Simmons would be nice. Simmons will be all over that field. You won't know where he's coming from. You don't know if he's dropping, blitzing, dropping out to the flat for running backs. This guy can fucking run. I was big on him in the draft a couple years ago. I think you guys got with Wink Martindale scheming. Wink is like from the school of Rex Ryan. You don't know who's coming. We're moving around before the snap. Really fun to watch.
We improved our defensive line, adding Nacho and Ashawn Robinson, and then we expect big things from Kayvon Thibodeau. We expect a big season from him. Of course, we got Ojulari on the other side, and then we got a steal in the draft, man. Trey Hawkins, we got him, I think, in the 6th round or something like that. It looks like he might be starting for us. And with our other cornerback that we drafted in the 4th round, Deonte Banks and Dory Jackson, we've improved from the team that made the playoffs last year. So we've added Darren Waller, we've added Jalen Hyatt, we've improved from a team that made they got beat by teams that were better than them, no doubt. Like the Eagles were better than them. Dallas were better than them last year. But I think this year we've actually stepped up and we're going to be able to compete with these teams. We've improved our defense, and we've got Daniel Martin with weapons to show that last year wasn't a fluke.
So let me ask you this, Wise. I mean, obviously the elephant in the room, man. People are going to talk. They're going to say, hey, Daniel Jones, man, we got to see it. We gave you the money, and we didn't necessarily give it to Saquon. We want to see it. So what do you say to these people that are trying to, how do you win them over and say, nah, Danny Dimes is going to be all right? So what do you feel about?
I don't call him Danny Dimes. First of all, everybody gave him that name, and I call him Daniel. You will never hear me call him. It's always Daniel Jones. But if he goes and he has the season I believe he can have with the preseason, just the chemistry he's building with Waller. If Waller's healthy, he's one of the top 5 tight ends in the league. We added the kid, Jalen Hyatt. He's that.
I like Jalen Hyatt.
You've seen the Alabama game. You see what he has as far as speed and explosiveness, and he was doing it from the slot position. So now imagine with an offensive genius like Daboll and Mike Kafka working together. Now they're able to open the playbook. You add Paris Campbell you added speed, things that they need, something they needed, because you had Isaiah Hodgins, who's more of a possession receiver, big guy, big body. You still got Darius Slayton, who's also a speedy receiver. So you got Sterling to help with these young guys as well. But the big key is Darren Waller. And then listen, Daniel Bellinger, who played well last year before he got poked in the eye and missed a few games, was on his way to proving that he was a great pickup in the draft. And this year he came in jacked. He came in with a whole new regimen, and you seen it in the preseason games that just passed.
Oh wow!
With Waller opening it up for him, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
This is my buddy Stevie, and he dropped this in the chat one day. He's like, I call him Dan Jones. Daniel is a 6-year-old or an 82-year-old guy in diapers. He's Dan Jones.
But no, listen. I like Jordan Riley too. I forgot to mention he's been opening a lot of eyes this preseason and this training camp, and that was another. Listen, the Giants, the best thing they did was bring in Joe Shane and Brian Daboll, because now they finally have
stability.
Front office and a head coach that see eye to eye.
Yeah,
and there's no egos amongst the coach. Like Wink, that's his defense. That's his thumb on that defense. And then you got he lets Kafka do his thing with the offense. But we've never had, like, these last few head coaches that we had, they were offensive coordinators pretending to be head coaches. Like Joe, I don't know how Joe Judge got this job. I don't know how.
Hey, we were all confused. Trust. We talked about it at length on this show.
Nobody was more confused than Joe Judge. When you put in the fake resume and they call you and they're like, "You got the job," you're like, "Oh, wait, for real?"
Really, not really. Yeah. He was shocked to get the job. He was really not giving me the job. Like, and before that was Pat Shermer, and Ben McAdoo before that. So Daniel Jones has not had a head coach until last year.
True.
And you've seen what a head coach could do with a talented quarterback. Yeah. He cut down on his interceptions and his fumbles, which were big problems for him in his 2 years. And now to have a head coach that knows what he's doing, that knows how to manage a team, and knows how to put the weapons around you.
Yeah.
Because look at the season they had, and they had no receiving core. They were pulling dudes off the streets to play receiver.
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised I let go Richie James. I'm surprised I let go Richie James and I let it come here. Yeah. I was kind of shocked.
You had too many of the same type receivers.
True.
Because my buddy Stevie is a big Giant fan, and his brother-in-law is a Giant fan. We all grew up together, and I constantly say to them that Dable is an elite mind. You know.
Nice. Yo, Sean, you wildin', bro.
Brian Dable is an elite offensive mind, and play design and the structure of the offense and the trickery and the foolery. And it's not, I'm not talking about trick plays, the misdirections and guys being wide open who have no business being wide open in the NFL. I said to them constantly, and Steve, you'll agree with this. I said, once the talent level matches the coaching level on the Giants, on the offense, holy shit, look out. Because once you get some alphas in there, like you bring in Waller now, right? Now you're getting some guys that can beat good coverage and get open when they're not open. So now you just don't have to rely on the scheme. You're relying on talent and scheme. And I think they're in a good position to grow.
Yeah,
I really do.
I agree with Steve. Like, listen, Daniel Jones was getting sacked. He was getting hit all over. And when you put a real head coach now, someone who knows how to work with quarterbacks, like before when Josh Allen before Brian Dable,
he was
okay.
He was a project.
He was a totally different player now.
And now after Brian Dable, he's a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
I'm not trying to say Dan Jones is Josh Allen, but he's got an arm. He's athletic enough. 770 something yards rushing last year. Now you put him now you give him weapons. Now you add a Paris Campbell, you add Jalen Wall, you add Waller, you add Jalen Hyde, you add all these different players. Now you're giving them weapons to expand. And year 2 now, you're expanding the playbook now. Before they kept it simple, they didn't want them to turn over, no interceptions. They let them manage the game. Now I see them opening the playbook more now.
Oh yeah. Well, you see it preseason wise.
In the division with the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, you got to score.
Yes.
You got to put up points. Yeah. They got some
and it helps to have a mobile quarterback too.
Yeah.
To get away from that rush.
Yeah. So now with I forgot the center we drafted. We've
John
added,
Michael Smith.
Yeah, John Michael Smith. And then we had hopefully we just signed our tackles to a big contract. Hopefully Evan Neal plays great. Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, we hope those are the bookends that we're supposed to have. And then with John Michael Smith in the middle. And then whatever different guards we have a couple of players. So I feel this 9 is going to be better prepared because when we played Dallas, Micah Parsons owned us.
Yeah.
But he does that to a lot of people. He's not right. Yeah. He does that to a lot of people.
He does that to everybody. No, that's dope. Wise, big homie Nick, jump in here real quick before we bring in our Philadelphia Eagles guy. What do you feel about the Giants and how they could possibly look for this upcoming season?
Well, I think the whole division, and I think they'll all admit this. They may not like it, but they'll admit it. The schedule is much harder this year. Last year, the whole division had a very easy schedule, and that's why you saw 3 teams get elevated to the wild card. But this year, the schedule started. You're playing the AFC East instead of the AFC South. so you got the Jets, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. The schedule will be tougher. I think collectively amongst all of them, you can see the teams improve in terms of statistics, offensive, defensive stats, but the records might not be as good because the quality of the opponents is different this year. It's stronger. Last year, everyone knew the NFC East had the top 4 softest strength of schedule. Now the AFC East and the NFC East, who play one another, are down like 8 of the bottom 10 in strength of schedule this year. So the opponents the record might not be the same, but you could see a team drastically improve and step back a game or two in the win column. So I'm very curious to see who it really affects and who's able to navigate those waters and still end up with either 12 or 13.
Yeah. And I actually agree with everything you're saying.
What? That's weird.
That's weird, very weird.
Trust me. I got the
Our last show, everyone. Take care. That's a wrap. We got nowhere to go from here.
No trust.
Take the cyanide pill now.
Yeah, no trust. I got cyanide in the tea, and I'll just end it in a second. So, but no, look, you're right. The strength of schedule does matter, but what I am excited about in all these teams in the division. What's up, TK? TK.
Fixed it. There we go.
I will say this. I might have been wrong about Daniel Jones because to Wise's point, we didn't see him with adequate coaching. We didn't see him with adequate, stability around him in the franchise. And when you see first year Daboll, and me and Nick have been loving Brian Daboll, and especially, him going to the Giants to help him out. Hey, man. Whew.
I wanted him for the Jets the year before we hired Saleh.
Yeah. And coaching matters. We'll speak on it a million times. We'll repeat it a million times.
Yes.
Coaching matters.
A whole lot.
It takes. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is about to be an MVP. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is we saw what Daboll did with Josh Allen. Took a project and got him into MVP conversation every year.
Sure, but Lamar, more important, what he did without Daboll. Look how he looked. Daboll.
Oh, huge. Oh, trust me, I agree with you.
No, it was a completely different offense without Daboll.
Completely different offense. And we talked about that on the show at Lynch too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when you put the coaching around the talent with that, because like I said, man, you look at it on paper, you're like, oh, this actually got a lot of talent on this joint. So get it with good coaching, you can see what happens. But Detroit Mel, jump in here real quick about how you feel about the New York Giants coming into the season.
Hey man, I always say I like the Giants. I like what they did. I even liked them last year. I thought they'd go a little further than they did. But I liked them last year. I'm not as down on Daniel Jones as a lot of people are. I don't think he's an elite quarterback, but I think he's a good enough quarterback. You put the pieces around him to win. And I think now that you have Daboll there, he's got some receivers. He has talent. I think people overlook that. It's not like he's what's my man name? Ryan Leaf or somebody. You know what I'm saying? He has talent, and now he has people around him. He has a coach that can teach him how to manage the game and how to maneuver around his inefficiencies. He can move, he can run. That's what the quarterbacks are now doing anyway. Mm-hmm. He has efficient arm strength. Now he has people he can pass to. Plus, he has a running back behind him. That's pretty good. That's pretty elite too. So I think they got some pieces around them. And fuck the Cowboys. So there we go.
hey, real quick, Wise.
If I could add this real quick before we move on.
Yeah, go ahead,
The
Nick.
fact that Daniel Jones got the contract, whether we like the money or not,
right?
Daboll said, "I can win with this guy." Daboll and the GM put their names on this and said, "Let's do it. We're growing, we're developing, we're bringing people in." It's not like ownership said we're signing him. Daboll signed off on this. So Daboll, who has watched Daniel Jones progress, is now saying, "I'm going to tie myself to this kid because I can make something out of him. There's something there."
Yeah, tightness. Hold on. I want to say something to this comment. Yeah, he may. I see what you're saying. He might be slightly above average, but you can win with that. Yeah. He got the pieces around you. So to me, it doesn't matter. We're not. I don't think no one's saying he's Patrick Mahomes. No one's saying that. Yeah. But my thing is, he has enough there that you can work with. And to Nick's point, if Daboll and the GM sign off or they see something there.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
now go ahead, Wise. You were saying something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Wise. Let me cut you off, bro.
No, it's because everybody's like, oh, he sucked. He turnovers and all this. But again, like he didn't have the right coach. Like you can't expect him to carry a team on his back when you don't have a coaching staff that doesn't know how to put a game plan together and don't know how to use your talent. So when you got a coach like Dayball, who's worked with some of the best, saying he's worked in Miami, he's worked in New England, he's coming from Buffalo. He has that pedigree of working with great quarterbacks. And if he signs off on you and say, listen, I could win with this dude,
just so you know,
he might have some talent. He got to have some talent. First of all, you got to have some type of talent to play in the NFL.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You got it. You can't be a scrub and make it to the NFL. That just doesn't exist. now, when you get to the NFL, your work ethic can separate you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And he's the first one. Listen, he's the first one in and the last one out.
Yeah,
that's all you hear from all his teammates is when they get there. Daniel Jones is there working in the off season. Daniel Jones was linking up with his receivers. They got together in Arizona. They did that. He's done the work. Once Darren Waller came over, they got together and started linking. So he's taking it upon himself to start working with his receivers, build the camaraderie with them, and build that relationship and trust with them. And that's what you want from your quarterback. You want a quarterback that's going to dedicate and put the work in his craft.
Yeah,
right. Like he can only if you put in the work, the only results are going to be good, man. And so now you add weapons, and if you in there and if you there with one of the best offensive minds in football, and someone who knows how to work with the look what he did with the minimum talent he had, and now he's got even more talent now with Paris Camp. He's added speed to a team that didn't have speed last year.
Yeah,
like it was Saquon and Daniel Jones running the rock.
Yeah,
most of the games.
No, you're right. You're right. So, and speaking of Saquon, I want to ask you real quick, Wise, or kind of give us your quick thoughts on the whole.
No, it ain't one bad year. It ain't one bad year. We hating on.
Nobody hates Dak for one bad year. They laugh because we hear from the media and their fan base every season that this is their year and they can't get past one game in the playoffs. It's just overblown bullshit, and we're just tired of it.
Like I have a cousin who's a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Thank you, Nick.
Right? And this year I made sure I attacked him first because he's always like before the season starts. Before the season starts, he's sending me memes. Oh, this is our Super Bowl. This is this, and I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna start firing my shots early. Start sending them memes and it's like, oh yeah, but y'all 0-10. I'm like, all right, yeah, y'all beaten us, great. But when was the last time y'all won a Super Bowl? Like I sent them a meme that said highlights of the last Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl, and it was a VHS cassette.
They probably don't even got the apparatus to even play that thing, bro.
And you had to record over episodes of the Honeymooners.
Hey, real quick, Wise, give me your thought process on this whole Saquon thing. Only signed for one more year. $1 million more, can get tagged again. And we had the drama at the beginning of the summer. Kind of just give us where your thought process was during that whole ordeal.
Oh man, listen, they just playing what the market is. Like, it's not just the Giants that are just devaluing running backs. It's the whole entire league. Yeah. Look at the Josh Jacobs. Look at Jonathan Taylor. They're giving up on young talented running backs because we all know. Like I grew up watching Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, running backs that lasted 10 plus years. That is not the case.
400 plus carries a season.
Yeah. We like Thurman Thomas. I grew up watching those running backs. Jerome Bettis. These are running backs that I grew up watching. These guys were they weren't what they are now. And I think Adrian Peterson might have been the last running back that's played more than 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm saying, so you really don't get those.
Forgetting the legend of Frank Gore.
Oh yes, my apologies. Yes, Frank Gore.
He's not memorable, dude. He's not very memorable. He's the most average running back ever.
But he's one of the best to do it.
You say that, but then you look at his numbers.
Yeah, he's one of the best to do it. Yeah, no, he is. Because Frank Gore was just consistent with it.
Yeah.
He was consistent with it. But going back to Saquon, yes, he is talented. Last year was like his first year that he was really healthy. Besides his rookie year. Besides those other 2 years, he's been hurt. So I feel if he has another great season, why not sign him for 2-3 more years? Give him the money. Yeah, no, Derrick Henry. But see, Derrick Henry carries the ball so much, and he's breaking down. That's the point. He didn't have he had an okay year. He didn't have a Derrick Henry year last year.
He had a down season compared to his standards.
Yeah,
right.
Yes, I agree with you. But let's bring our we gotta bring our fly Eagles fly.
I like the parliaments over here.
You know, the Bird Gang himself. Cool McCain, what's happening with you, my guy?
My man, cool breed.
Wise, what it do? What it
cool.
do? What's going on, fellas? Hey, before we even get started, I have one thing I have to address, right? Earlier, Bottom Line Sports said my rule is when a QB gets paid, they have a down year. Jalen got paid, plus the Eagles lost both coordinators and 5 starters in defense. Cowboys win the East. Daniel Jones got paid too. I think Bottom Line Sports forgot. There's a lot of reports that they're going to have to pay their guy over there, Mr. Rain Dakota, because if they don't, they're going to be up against cap disaster at the end of the year. So if he gets paid too, does that apply to him too? Or is he not in there because he's your guy for Dallas? Just curious. I tell you guys, I just had to. We don't let those go around here.
I saw your face in the green when you could come on, say something.
And I love Flo. Flo, he's a Cowboys guy, so obviously he's gonna ride for his squad. But hey, that's why we do this, because we love to get the competitive banter going on amongst the business.
Oh no, right. Like he says, yeah, I'm loud and Daniel Jones for his work ethic, and almost every QB. No, every QB does not have a work ethic, man.
Yeah, ask Kyler Murray.
Yeah. So you can't say everybody has that work, because they don't. Not everyone has that work.
So I feel you. But before we get too deep off into Philadelphia Eagles talk, cool man, go ahead, drop all the places where the people can find you at with all your content, my brother.
Y'all got time?
Yeah. Time.
Nah, for real. All right, so we're gonna start Eagles Elite, right? That's Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. EST. We're talking all things Philadelphia Eagles. We'll be bringing on people for the teams that we plan, just to get a little bit of things from the other side, because we don't want to just give you one side. Well, we do want to just give you one side. We want you to hear both sides. So yeah, that's the first place, and that's at youtube.com/Eagles Elite Podcast. So that would be the first place. So then after that, on Monday nights, I'm going to be on the Monarchs of Wrestling at 6:30 p.m. That starts this Monday. That's going to be on Shady Sports Network. It's a joint venture between Shady Sports and Play Caller Sports Productions, which is my own little thing. You can watch it on the Play Callers channel. And that would be playcallersportstalk.com/live or youtube.com/Shady Sports Network. Tuesday, we'll be back on playcallersportstalk.com/live for the NFL matchup madness, baby. We're going to be talking every team every week. Some will be just videos, but we're going to have weeks sprinkled in throughout the season where we're going to have everybody on so you can hear how things are going for all the teams. Other weeks, you're going to get videos dropped for all the teams. Some don't even have 2 videos dropping. Just give out some different perspectives on the team, something that you can watch in your free time, have a little time, fun, enjoy it, and not have to always watch a 3-hour show, because, hey, I know sometimes I do the show and I'm like, bro, it's a little bit long. So split it up, switch it up, freak it up a little bit, make it different for you this year.
Nice.
Thursday, Birds Deep. So that would, I believe that one's going to be on Wire to Wire Podcast Network. It may also be on Sports Empire Network. Friday, 2 shows starting this week. 2 shows. So playcallsportstalk.com/live at 7:30. That we just kind of talking basketball, football, kind of what's going on in the world of sports. Then at 9 p.m. So we're gonna give you a little break. So we'll be through with that one by about 8:30, 8:35-ish. Get a chance to go to the bathroom, get you some snacks, get you something to drink, put your back one if you want to, whatever, however you want to live it. And then come on back and check out the NFL Gridiron Flex with us. All things NFL, just a little thing we doing, man. Just trying to do some different things this year, put some more content out there in the world. And then I have to find the link to make sure I give you the correct information. So I do that before I get off. But also we on the radio on WDJY, DZJY in Atlanta. It's 99.1. But there's a website that you can go to and watch it if you're in another area. 10 p.m.
Nice.
10 a.m. I always keep saying p.m. because everything else is in the evening. 10 a.m. on Friday mornings.
Okay.
Oh,
all right, Steve Harvey. Thanks. Jesus Christ.
One more.
Family Feud too.
I'm hosting Family Feud Monday to Friday.
And then on Saturday at 9 p.m. with my man Wise over here, we do the NFC Beast podcast. Every division is represented in the best division in football. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. It's the truth. It's the truth. The NFC East.
Hey, man, you got more jobs than a damn Jamaican over here, man. I thought I'd get a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool, man. So, obviously, me
all right, man, that was your half hour. Thanks for joining. Next.
We didn't chop it up.
Did an info commercial.
We didn't chop it up many a times about your Eagles. Obviously, we had conversations. Matter of fact, we was on last night on Eagles Elite. But man, kind of give the people on how you going, how you feeling going into this year. Coming up just a little bit short in the Super Bowl with your Philadelphia Eagles, man. How you feeling about your year, man?
So, man, like you said, we came up a little short last year. That was things, and it's still stinging a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, it is what it is. That was last season. I know my quarterback still feel it too, and that's the thing. You have two groups of people when things don't go the way you want to go. You had one group of people, it didn't go the way I wanted to go. So now I got reasons. Now I'm kind of like crying about it. I'm whining about it. And we got a few players that saying things that's a little reckless. That happens, right? Because some people get a little emotional, they get golden into it, and they let something slip. But I think the big thing is we got there. We showed that we can hang. We didn't quite finish the deal, but we showed that we can hang. So it's a little bit more hunger this year. And if you know anything about me, I would have I'm trying to figure out the best word. The best word I can give you is disdain for the person masquerading as our defensive coordinator last year. We ran.
He does have a disdain for Cannon. He does.
Right. And
every
episode
of NFC East. every episode of NFC East, he will rap. Yeah. I can vouch for that. I can vouch that he did attack Gannon every chance he got. And they won. They had won 12 in a row. How many games they won in a row? And he still was not happy with that defense.
No, because the defense
he was
trash.
like, they need to fire Gannon. He's like, they need to fire Gannon. That was every week. It started something Gannon did that pissed him off.
Hey, when you see trash,
we won that soft zone mess, and we did it all year, every week. The saving grace for us, bro, was that we had a lot of guys that could kind of freestyle and do their own thing within the defense, and that worked some weeks, right? But some weeks you actually have coaches that are going to call plays and notice that, all we got to do is throw 5-yard passes all day because they play 5 to 10 yards off every play because the defense coordinator is an idiot. And, apparently
they got a head coaching job. Hey,
yeah. Hey, but hold on, Wise.
What did I tell you about that?
He went to Arizona. We know what's going on with Arizona.
Arizona is about to get a plethora of picks and players for the number one pick next year.
They capitalized in the draft and got a bunch already, and now the fire sale, they're getting even more.
Yeah, and then they're going to get some more.
They got a 7th rounder for Isaiah Simmons.
They're making sure they can get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. together next year. They are going to do everything they can to get the two of them.
They need to get rid of Frodo.
Here's the thing that everybody got to realize, though. There's one team that's saying not so fast. The Indian Trashless Colts, because they are about to go ahead and get rid of their best player by far. And I mean, that's not a team that's got a great wide receiver core. So you're going to get rid of your best weapon, right? You're also saying, hey, we in the running. We getting one of these two quarterbacks, right? They're getting one of them. So, hey, it's going to be fun to see which one of those teams. Did they just
draft Anthony Richardson?
They got Anthony Richardson.
Once they see Anthony Richardson on that field this year, they'll be looking for another quarterback next year. No, listen.
Listen, bro.
I'm a Miami fan, right? So I watch the other Florida teams, right? Because I'm a Florida hater for everybody that's not Miami. This dude could not read defenses in college. This dude could not make all the throws in college. This dude took too long to get rid of the ball in college. This dude got drafted because he looks great in a pair of shorts and a tank top.
Ooh. Reminds me when
doing drills.
Hold on. Isn't the Eagles offensive coordinator or the ex-Eagles offensive coordinator now the head coach in Indianapolis?
Yeah. You mean the one that had no kahunas in the Super Bowl? Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah, that one.
That's him.
Yeah. That's him.
For any of you guys who watch wrestling, the one that has the mid-size man meats. Him.
Yeah.
Hey, cool. You didn't have to be good in the Super Bowl. The refs gave you a free 50-yard pass to Devontae Smith early on. That wasn't even a catch.
Well, that's okay, man. The refs also.
Here we go.
They called the holding. They didn't call the holding, right? That's what you're gonna say.
Nope.
I don't even know.
Nope.
I had to deal with this all off season talking about
not doing it. Nope.
I had to hear him cry about the holding and all this other stuff. The field, like
you have never heard me cry about the field, wise. You have never heard me say
that. I'm crying about Eagles fans over here, but they've cried about the field.
Cool. I got a question for you. Cool. How far away from you right now is the Georgia Bulldog hat? Because you guys are bringing all my Georgia guys into Philly, man. It's wild.
I enjoy those players, and I'm glad that they're there. But the Miami hats are the only ones that are here close to me. So,
when it comes to drafting them, I'm not saying I like them, but I understand.
I'm not mad at all at the guys that we
got. Some dogs, man. I'm a big Georgia guy. You got some, pun intended. You got some dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on all those guys that you drafted. Nolan Smith is Minka Parsons 2.0, waiting to explode into the NFL. That speed and what he can do, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, like I said, the cool last night. I said,
oh my gosh.
I said y'all might go from 70 sacks to damn near 90. No, for real. I mean, they got young, talented guys on their defense. All you need is a competent defensive coordinator to put them in the right position, bro. That's all you need.
And that's why we had to get rid of the other one, because he wasn't gonna do it.
Y'all didn't get rid of him. He left out of his own.
So Wise, actually,
did you elevate somebody from within as defensive coordinator, or did you bring in someone from the outside?
We brought in Sean Desai. And Wise, actually, what happened was after the game, instead of getting on the plane, Howie told him to go. Not Howie, but Jeffrey Lurie told him to go ahead and interview for that job in Arizona.
I said, go ahead.
Don't do your thing.
You got my blessing, right? You got my blessing.
He said, "You got my blessing."
You got my blessing to go get an interview for that job. Yeah.
But no, I love it. I love it. Cool. Obviously, Cool is man. He's always been realistic about his Eagles. So, kind of give me like your realistic expectations on your squad this year, man.
We win the Super Bowl this year. Woo! That's like my realistic expectations.
Hey man, yesterday somebody said that Pittsburgh was winning, so I don't know.
Hey, somebody can say whatever they want, man. I mean, we can say that the Atlanta Falcons or the Carolina Panthers gonna win the Super Bowl, but they ain't. You know what I'm we can say the New England Patriots gonna win the Super Bowl, but we all know that's not true.
Please don't get me like Doc. You did that. No, because I went off on the Patriots last night because my boy Rod was in there church.
He got paid.
But no, now go ahead, though, Cool.
I want to shout out Miss Uncensored real quick too, man. That was dope. Yeah. So for y'all, just like what you talking about. So we got a guy that's a Patriots fan. He's a troll every week, right? So his wife hacked his Facebook account, hopped in and said, "This is his wife. Fly Eagles fly. We're gonna beat them 43-2. No, what did you say? 42-3." He was not
Rod's
happy
wife
about
is
that.
the Eagles fan?
Yes, she is.
Rod's wife is the Eagles fan. Oh man.
Yes, she is. It was
Was
great.
she drinking? Was she drinking? Because I don't think there's any way Mac Jones is leading that team to 3 points in any game. She change is gonna happen. She tipping the bottle too much. What's she up to?
Listen, yo, Mac,
Woo.
he's bro. You got Zach Wilson
as a backup.
You got Zach Wilson. No, now he's a backup. But last year, and I had high hopes for the Jets.
They were equals. Zach Wilson and Mac Jones were 3-3 with a minute left in the game. They were equals.
Who can tell you? I had high hopes for the Jets. I was talking about, yes, the Jets did. They had a great draft. Bro, I was on the Jets bandwagon. I'm like, they're going to have a great season. And then
it happened.
Breece Hall and Elijah Vera Tucker got hurt in Denver. We were 5-2 when we lost them. We had no identity. And they just stuffed the run. We were going to run the ball. You knew we were going to run the ball, and you couldn't stop it when Breece Hall got hot. And then him and Tucker went out on back-to-back plays in Denver, and we had no identity after that, and we couldn't do a goddamn thing. And Zach wasn't talented enough to keep it going. The line couldn't block. We went through 5 tackles, 3 guards, 2 centers. It was wild.
Yeah. So. Hey, it happens. But I do love how we can all be fans of different teams, but one team that will bring our love because of hate is the Patriots.
Cowboys.
And the Cowboys. And the Cowboys.
It's a
coincidence. They both have a star on their helmet. If you look at the Patriot logo, the Patriot wearing the hat has a star. So they're very hateable people. And the Texans, too.
Well, I was leading into, yes, the Patriots, but, representing the Cowboys, you got my man Allen. And, hey, let's take it easy.
All righty.
Alan, how you doing, man?
I'm used to this by now. I'm just like, yeah. I'm not the typical Cowboy fan that's just like, oh, we're gonna win it every year. Or after 27 years, I'm just like, can we at least just be decent? Can we just at least be decent?
I know.
Way to win us over, dude. Great opening line. Way to win us over, real quick.
Man, I got trolled so much last year because I actually picked the Eagles to win the division last year.
That's Mel. Me and Mel don't like one another. Mel right above you.
Yeah, they gotta love
Mel, who needs to be coddled like a baby, sitting in the lap of a naked man statue. So let him be. We let him do his shit. He got a green statue boner in his back right now. He's a little upset.
But no, before we get too far off into the silliness and Cowboys talk, Alan, man, thank you for joining us and give all the fans and the listeners, where they can find your content at. Go ahead.
Well, you can find me all over Let's Talk Sports. I do, my own shows on Tuesday and Wednesday. We have our baseball show that's on at 4 p.m. Eastern. We talk all Major League Baseball and what have you. Got a couple morning shows on Monday and Wednesday, and then a couple things I do. I talk Dallas Cowboys, of course. I'll be doing I do my Saturday show for the Cowboys on Let's Talk Sports Network, but I'll also be doing a recap show on Tuesday once the season gets going. So little double dosing on it. So and I've enjoyed every minute of it. So I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary with Let's Talk Sports. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice. Congrats. Good dude. Yeah. Shout out to Dan, man. He's a saint, man. He's like the
real quick. Lamar, I gotta come at you because Jeremy told me you were on with him and you two was popping shit about me together. I gotta go check this out.
It's okay. Well, but don't be surprised. The shit that I said on the show, I will always say it to you gladly. So
I know it ain't behind my back. It's just the same shit you say to me to someone else. So.
Well, gentlemen, I'm sorry, but I had to head out. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Man. Have a good night, everybody.
You too, man.
Yeah, we'll collect again. But go ahead, Alan. Tell the people where they can find all you. Oh, you already did that. Anyway, I know. I'm just excited because we're talking football.
Bro, you good.
I'm excited because we're talking football. But kind of give us your breakdown on how the Cowboys are going to do this year, man. What you excited to see?
Well, for me, it all just comes down to two people. It comes down to Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott.
Yes.
If Mike McCarthy calls calls a halfway decent offense, the offense will be fine. If
that's not happening,
if Dak Prescott plays up to his potential, then the Cowboys will be fine. The problem, because obviously, look, they got a top 3 defense. That defense is going to be really, really good this year. As far as I like some of the moves that they make. Obviously, Brandon Cooks coming in was great. I like Stephon Gilmore coming in as well. Some of the draft picks, I'm not too high on how they drafted this year. I got to kind of see it first. I'm okay with the Mozzie Smith pick. I love Deuce Vaughn so far. He's been playing great in camp. One guy that has stepped up from what I've seen in camp so far has been Jalen Tolbert. He's going to be our wide receiver 4.
He's nice. I liked him.
He's going to be a nice player.
He's never going to be top in a league. He's going to be a nice role player on a good team. He'll do well for you guys.
It'll be kind of like what Cedric Wilson was for us a couple years ago before he went to Miami. So he's probably going to have that role. So it'll help out. It'll help out a little bit. And then like Flo says, I like how Deuce Vaughn looks. I like Rico Dowdle actually as our backup right now. I think he looks good too. But of course, the big question is going to be, what's Dak Prescott going to look like? What's Mike McCarthy's play calling going to look like? Until I see that in an actual game, I'm not going to be like saying, oh, this is going to be our year or what have you, like every Cowboy fan in America.
Can I jump in right there? Is McCarthy doing the play calling, or is it Schottenheimer? Because I know you guys brought in Brian.
It is Mike McCarthy. It is Mike McCarthy.
How long do you think that lasts?
Give it about a I think it'll be the whole season, in which case he'll probably be done, if I'm being honest. So
yeah, be honest. That's what we do here on the show, man.
If they don't get to an NFC Championship game this year, then not only is Mike McCarthy gone, but Dak Prescott's gone too.
Ooh,
that is my feeling about it. If they do not get to the NFC Championship,
right. You are.
I need a screenshot of Cole's face right there. Cole's face was great.
If they do not get to the NFC Championship game this year, not only is Mike McCarthy gone, but Dak Prescott as well. So that's my big hot take on that. And I already know who they're going to go get if they get rid of Dak too. So
Trey Lance, baby.
Drop it.
Oh no. Even better, Kyler Murray.
Oh,
what? They're gonna even better.
That's not.
As far as controversial trades, yeah, they're gonna go get Kyler Murray because that's a star player that you know how Jerry is. Jerry's like, he sees the money sign all over Kyler Murray. Plus, he's from down the road in Tyler, Texas. So, that makes the most sense in the world.
Go ahead, Cool.
For Jerry.
I
for teams that want to win the Super Bowl, teams that want to live in the news. That's a good move for news headlines and talk shows. It's not good for winning football.
Why do you think the Cowboy brand is the worth the most out of any sports franchise in all of the world right now? So
yeah,
because the brand recognition.
He personally financed his own stadium, and that's part of it.
Yeah, but hold on,
which is a great stadium. That's the best stadium in football. I'll say that.
To Alan's point, because I talked about this on the late night show about a couple of weeks ago, me and MJ. Jerry brought in $1 billion a year. $1 billion a year. You hear what I'm saying? He's turned his franchise into a marketing giant, a business where it's about bringing in the revenue, where he's won his Super Bowls back in the 90s. So that's what I'm saying. If he really felt the necessity to win a Super Bowl, he would have already made the proper adequate changes at coaching and quarterback to go make that happen, because everything else around Dallas is line up at quarterback and coach. So if he really cared, he would have said, all right, because at the end of the day, when he's making $1 billion a year, he's know that his fan base is not going anywhere because they're international. You're an international known team.
Unfortunately, you're right.
If he wanted and needed a championship, he would go get it. But he's not showing the signs that he needs it So that's why that's always been my take with Jerry, and he's running like a business. Cool, jump in here because you had something to say.
I did have a question. Why was Kyler Murray wearing a training bra? Somebody please tell me.
So that's the how do you think that's how they do the GPS? Everyone wears them, all the athletes wear them because that's how they track the speeds.
So let me
wear it.
No, let me clarify for you. There are several different ones, and I know that you can buy different ones because my daughter actually has one for her soccer team as well. You can get one that goes on your ankle, you can get one that goes on your wrist, you can get them to go in different places. You don't have to have the one that looks like a training bra. He wants that one because he likes it.
Thank you. I said the same thing. Thank you.
Hey man, take the Brandy Chastain look aside. Kyler Murray doesn't, look. The skills are there for him. All right, it's the willingness to put in the work to be an elite quarterback. But to your take, Alan, I'm not mad at it. I just thought that you were going to come with, like a quarterback that he, would change their makeup as a team instantly. I don't know if Kyler going from Dak to Kyler makes that much of a difference.
And then that's the thing. I don't see anybody out there that can do that. People keep telling me Kirk Cousins. What is Kirk Cousins going to do? He can't play past 4:30 p.m. So,
Kirk is the white Dak Prescott. So, I mean, what's the point of bringing?
I mean, it's basically the same thing. But Dak actually shows up in prime time. So,
I like that. I like it. It's spicy. I like it.
So, you want a guy who's gonna be there half the time, or you guy who's gonna be there at least somewhat mediocrity all the time?
Alan, I gotta come at you with this, man. Dak does not show up in prime time because that's when playoff games are played in prime time. Those nationally televised games are in January, brother. And cool, I gotta reply to you with the Kyler Murray thing. The reason he doesn't know where to get the anklet and the other ones because that's on one of the pages in the playbook. He never opened it. He didn't do any film study.
There you go.
I can't.
I like it.
I can't. So Alan, let me
ask
you
we
this.
Continue down this path, man. I like it.
So let me ask you this, Alan. Do you think it's going to be that much of a drop off from Kellen Moore play calling to Mike McCarthy play calling?
No, not at all. I think it might actually get a little bit better if I'm being honest. I wasn't the biggest fan of Kellen Moore, if I'm being honest. There were a couple games where he'd be like, okay, well, I see what we got here. I mean, you look at the Minnesota game last year, they were clicking on all cylinders. But when you need him to come out the most, i.e., look at the last 2 years in the playoffs against the 49ers, Kellen Moore did not call a good game in either of those games. If he had called a halfway decent game in either of those games, then we beat San Francisco both of those times. Because our defense shut them down. Our defense shut them down both times, especially last year. Last year we made Brock Purdy look like Mr. Irrelevant before he made the one pass to George Kittle that kind of turned that game around.
Mm-hmm.
We made Brock Purdy look like Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah,
but because the offense could not generate any kind of success, and part of that's on Dak Prescott too. But because Kellen had a poorly bad game, that's why I was like, let him go to LA. He can charter it up with them. So I don't even have the Chargers being a playoff team. That's how bad I think they're going to be.
Oh wow!
I think that Kellen Moore is going to do fantastic with Justin Herbert because he has a very good quarterback now.
I mean, it's possible.
I think Herbert is much better than Dak, and I think Kellen Moore will. Cowboys fans will be like, "Where the hell was that when this was here?" And it's going to be because Herbert's better than Dak, and that'll be the difference.
That would be the one saving grace I give him is Justin Herbert.
That's interesting.
That's their one saving grace is their quarterback right now.
Well, obviously, being a Chiefs fan, I don't hate your take saying that the Chargers won't make the playoffs, but I'll say this. You're looking at a lot of issues health-wise for the Chargers. I think always holds them back. And with Kellen Moore being a very pass happy type of coordinator, it doesn't help you when all of a sudden Mike Williams and Keenan Allen can't stay on the field. I know you go get Quentin Johnson, cool, from TCU, cool. But he's a rook. He's tall, lanky, has the speed. But one thing about him that I noticed is he's a body catcher. He's not a hands catcher.
Yes.
He is not a hands catcher. And so that brings you back to relying on Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler again, which I love Austin Eckler. Fantasy guy. I'm probably going to draft him on my fantasy team. But come on. Living and dying with Austin Eckler and Justin Herbert got you in the same result last year. Barely got you in the playoffs.
Right.
And you on the bad end of the most epic comeback in NFL history. So if that's what you want every year, then so be it. Because it's go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not so much Justin Herbert, it's their defense. Their defense is what I don't trust. Their offense is gonna be fine. Their offense will be fine regardless of how Kellen Moore calls the plays or whatnot, because they have Herbert at quarterback. Their defense is what I'm worried about. And what we saw, you mentioned it last year against Jacksonville, what we saw against the Jaguars in that second half playoff game, they couldn't stop air, even if they tried. So if they play like that, then yeah, they're going to have to outscore teams to probably win some games. They probably won't even beat Kansas City this year because, again, it's a great game. Chargers Chiefs has been a great game the last few years, but it's always ended up with Kansas City winning, and there's a reason for that.
No, I think
there's a reason for
Herbert's beating them.
Yeah, Nick, come on. Hey, Patrick nearly set that game out because we already had our playoff seeding locked.
Here we go.
No, no, Nick's right. Herbert did beat the Chiefs, but it was on week 17 or week 18 game when the Chiefs already had their playoff seeding locked, and it didn't matter. They set Patrick Mahomes down. So I mean, he's right, but
it mattered to the Chargers.
Okay, but they also didn't make it to the playoffs that year too. So yeah, it mattered a lot. So
I want to hop back in here. I let y'all listen to this Cowboys stuff long enough. So let's talk about that in the NFC East for a few minutes here, right? So we've got a preseason game, right? I want to see all the starters in bubble wrap. I want to see Jalen Hurts in bubble wrap and in one of them bubbles and with the caution tape around him, right? Because we don't need no more injuries and we have some people dropping like fries. But I want to go over a group of guys that are very important that you should see a lot of tonight, okay?
Okay.
Teron Jackson, Milton Williams, Marlon Tupeludo, Tavia Street, Derek Barnett, Zach Cunningham, Kristen Ellis, Nolan Smith, Josh Joby, Kevon Wallace, Sidney Brown, Keely Ringo, and Josiah Scott. Those are the guys that are all number 2 on the depth chart in their respective positions on defense for the Eagles. Those are the guys you're going to see tonight. And there is a big concern on the Philadelphia Eagles going into the season. Like I said, I believe we're going to get to the Super Bowl to win it. That's the only way we can be better than last year, right? Because we made it and we lost. So the only way we can be better is win. So the biggest problem, well, there's 2 actually that scare me. So one is our slot receiver. Right now it's Olamide Zaccheaus. I hope he continues to have that position. But there's a lot of talk about Quez Watkins and what he's done in the preseason. For those of you who are not Eagles fans who may not follow the Eagles in preseason, I understand. Quez Watkins does this every year. He's done this for 3 years. This will be 4. And what happens in the regular season, we get trash every year. So if we're going to continue to allow ourselves to be fooled by what a guy does in preseason and training camp, that's on the Eagles. That's not on anybody else. Also, the second and actually the most disturbing problem is backup quarterback, because that's supposed to be Marcus Mariota.
Okay. Oh, yeah, well.
Supposed to be.
Marcus Mariota has looked horrid in the preseason.
Yeah, he has. I've seen a couple.
Marcus Mariota has looked like too. Well, he's had some good moments, but he really has looked bad.
He always looks bad. He shows flashes, but for the most part, he's bad, right? That's why he's a journeyman. And this is not even against ones. He's been playing against twos, and he can't even get throws down the field. He's not able to hit receivers. He's running too much. He's not making quick reads. He looks like rookie Jalen Hurts. You let that Netflix money go to his head.
And his mind is on Maui.
That Netflix money blew his head up now, man. He's all cocky.
That's the problem.
So it's because Maui's on fire. Is it too soon?
I hope that Tanner McKee, our 6th round pick this year, actually ends up winning that backup quarterback job. I'd rather have a rookie that can learn and develop than a guy who just does not look good. Like, he just looks bad. Like, I watched the games and I'm sitting there like,
hey, well, why don't y'all go make a bid for Trey Lance, man? Go ahead. He ready for taking, man.
Trey Lance.
We good. Tanner McKee will be fine. We good.
Lamar, I would just like to remind you of week 3 of 2021 when Herbert did beat Mahomes to make the Chiefs 1-2. Herbert's 2-4 against the Chiefs all time. He did beat Chad Henne in the last week of 2020 as his rookie season, and he did beat the Chiefs week 3 of 2021, September 26, 2021.
Yeah,
Learn about your damn team. Learn about your damn team before you talk back to me, Lamar.
So yeah, he's looked bad. I mean, it's got to be better and like that. That's a position that's very important.
Lamar act like the internet don't exist when he say shit.
I do want to ask this.
Oh no, hold on. If we're doing that, then you Jets fans stop fucking forgetting of these 50 years of not doing shit since Joe Namath did.
You know how hard it is to watch fucking Super Bowl in black and white? Shut up. I don't forget. Every time I look at me and you next to each other, I think I'm watching Joe Namath again.
My question is this: are any concern of the running back room in Philadelphia? Because I know there are 2 guys that have injury history, and Penny and DeAndre Swift. Any concern with that?
Nice.
Nope, because the only thing is, as long as they don't both get hurt at the same time, we good. I mean, personally, as a fan, I don't expect DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny to make it through the season. One of them gonna get hurt at the beginning of the season. One of them gonna get hurt later in the season. I just hope that it's not at the same time. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I was great when we signed Swift because I'm like, cool. So now when Penny get hurt, Swift will be there, and then when Swift get hurt, Penny will be there. Right? That's honestly how I look at it. And y'all know.
That's a fascinating. You acting like they cashiers at ShopRite, but y'all can't take off at the same time.
Nah, okay, both be off. We need one of y'all got to work. Yeah, one of y'all got to work. You ain't both got to work, but one of y'all got to work.
y'all both can't have off.
Nah, y'all both can't have off.
I got
it's Saturday. You can't both be off.
I got a question for both of you guys. Cool, I'll throw it to you first since you were talking. There's rumors that the Dolphins have made a strong offer for Taylor. Do you think? What do you guys hear? Or your team? There's 6 teams made a call to the Colts. Both of you guys, I think, could benefit from adding Taylor to the room. Obviously, a lot of teams can. But as your team, any of your insiders telling you that your team is in on this? Yeah,
all the way in. If we can give DeAndre Swift and a pick, we have called. We have made multiple offers. Okay, because at the end of the day, like I said, we got 2 guys that are not going to make it through the season. They both going to end up being street clothes Davis for at least part of the season, right? So we're not going to have them for the whole season. If we can turn one of them and a draft pick into Jonathan Taylor,
okay,
why not?
Alan, how about you?
What would be bad about
have the Cowboys been in?
I've heard that they've been out. I've heard that they're going with Pollard, and they like both Dowdle and they like Deuce Vaughn a lot. They might go Malik Davis as well. They might have all 4 of those guys running the rock at some point. So I haven't heard much of them wanting to go after Jonathan Taylor because they still got to pay CeeDee Lamb. They're still going to have to pay Micah Parsons. They're still going to have to pay Dak if he plays well, I guess. And a couple other guys that they have on tap. They just paid Zach Martin. They just paid Trayvon Diggs. They got a lot of mouths to feed. So I don't think that I have heard Washington. Though.
Washington makes sense. The Bears make sense, to put him in the backfield, run that RPO with Fields and let them come up together. We've had fun the last couple of years picking on Trayvon Diggs.
And made offers too.
We've had some fun on the show. The year that Trayvon Diggs made an All-Pro, I think, is one of the most laughable All-Pros ever. He gave up over 1,100 yards, got spun like a top time and time again. He had some progression last year. He played much better last year than the year he was an All-Pro. You think he's worth that money? You are a logical, rational Cowboy fan, and you've said some things that I know I can ask this, and I'll get an honest not a homer response from you. So
man.
me with it.
100%, because you've seen him progress every year that he's been here. You look back, you can even go back to the 2020 COVID season. He kept, like you guys had said, he kept getting beat on different plays and whatnot, but you saw progression, and that's why they're very high on Trayvon. And now bringing in a veteran like a Stephon Gilmore, that's going to help Trayvon out tremendously in his progression. So I think it's definitely worth it, in my opinion.
Okay. My concern from the outside looking in at Diggs and assessing it, I'm not talking shit. My assessment of watching Diggs, he's got bad hips. He's susceptible to double moves. And as a Jet fan playing you guys week 2, I can't wait to watch Garrett Wilson spin him around. Well, if you don't have hips early, it's tough to develop that movement later on. And he's a bigger guy for a cornerback. So I'm looking forward to see what Wilson can do.
Well, he also plays corner like a receiver. So
yes,
he does. He's too aggressive and he tries to guess routes and it puts him in a bad position sometimes. Mm-hmm. But that's coachable. That part's fixable. The hips and the turning is.
That's why I feel Gilmore coming in is going to be great for him, because they might try to put Gilmore on Garrett Wilson. Not saying that they will, but
why do you have 13-year-old meat?
When you are 13, come on, you were 13 once, man.
Oh, when he was 13. Okay.
Come on, bro.
Wow, Nick.
Come on, Nick.
I read it wrong, man. I was in football mode. I didn't expect dick jokes. I'm sorry. I was very good with dick jokes. I apologize. I read that wrong. I apologize.
But yeah, having a veteran guy like a Stephon Gilmore coming in it's going to do wonders for him. I think he's going to get better and better. So.
Nah, I dig it.
I respect that. I like the honesty.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I can't even lie with you, Allen, man. Like you have changed my mind that there is hope, that there are rational Cowboys fans out here. So I appreciate you for joining the show, and it lets me know that you guys do exist. I thought you guys were literally like unicorns.
We're a dime a dozen.
So, but here's my thing.
You're like a needle in a haystack, bro. Not a dime a dozen. You are a needle in a haystack with a rational, logical Cowboy fan. I give you credit. Good job, Lamar. I'll give you credit too for finding him, Lamar.
No, I got to give it to Flo. Flo sent me his way. So okay. I'll say this. I get what you're saying, Nick, about the being burnt toast, because I was part of it too. When Trayvon Diggs, man, you're looking like burnt toast. But if you also look at what he does, he doesn't allow a lot of touchdowns on his side of the field. So now, as much as he's giving up yardage wise, hey, I don't mind him getting the money, because at the end of the day, because we see it for most defenses, if you are bend but don't break type of defense, you can give up all the yardage in the world. But if you're not allowing people in the end zone, to me that matters more. Like if you're letting touchdowns getting thrown left and right on you, then I would be right there with you 100% that Trayvon Diggs. Come on, you sure you deserve that money, man? Like, come on, what are we doing? But
it also helps when you have number 11 up there up front. So
bingo,
that helps a whole lot.
Mar, I just want to say, when you say burnt toast, it brings back bad traumatic memories of 90 offensive line Ronald Darby.
Hey, what was that? Y'all the dream?
Okay, two rational fans then.
Yeah, Flo's rational. So there's two rational Cowboys fans, and we happen to know both of them now. So, man, I'm about to go play some lottery numbers. What's your lucky number, Alec?
30.
Cool. Let me write that down. 30. Hey, Flo, put in the comments what's your lucky number, because I'm at to play these numbers, man. But no, here's how I feel about the Cowboys, and I agree with everything that you have said, especially when it comes to the things that matter the most and what's going to determine your success. Which I'm glad you said it was Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think there's no secret to anybody on this panel or anybody that talks football that's going to say anything different on what going to be the reason why you guys will or won't have success. So,
right,
that's what it is. I mean, you got to be honest about what you got, and I say, and it's not a diss, but I'm with you on the point where I don't know if they get rid of Dak, but I will say this: they're going to start looking for that Alex Smith to Patrick Mahomes type of situation if he can't get to that, get through that glass ceiling. So I wouldn't be surprised if that would have happened. So we got our last representative just popped in. 27, cool. 27, cool. We gonna get these lotto numbers, man.
That's right.
Yeah, so we got a last guy, our man Chris, representing the Washington Commanders, Redskins football team, whatever the hell you want to call them. I don't know.
Insert name here.
Yeah,
right.
insert name
I
here.
would love if new ownership went back to the Redskins.
Now, Mar, after you bring him in, I just want to give y'all a few more points about the Eagles, but I'll let you go and get Chris in and let him get his thing going first. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you want to give him some quick jabs real quick? That's what you said?
No. I want a few points about the Eagles. No jabs, man.
Okay.
No jabs. Okay.
All right.
No jabs. Not yet.
Not yet. So representing the Washington football team, we got Chris. What's going on, Chris?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? We got friendly fires around here, so it's all good.
Yes, that's what's up, man. Before we get to your Washington team, go ahead and give the viewers, listeners, where they can find your content at, my brother.
Okay, yeah. So pretty much Couch Coach Live podcast. Pretty much anywhere you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, with their social media, Couch Coach Live.
All right.
Nice. So, real quick, give us a quick breakdown on how you think your Washington team is going to look like this year, my man.
I think that the Washington Commanders are going to be probably one of the most improved teams in this division, because obviously all of us were over 500. I mean, we were at 500 and above. So I just look at this standpoint from an offensive standpoint, bringing in a guy like Eric Bieniemy, it's going to work wonders for this offense. Now you're bringing in a Sam Howell, who I think, in my personal opinion, has been our best quarterback probably since RG3. So I look at it from that standpoint of we have an established quarterback. One, there's no quarterback carousel. This young man is very cerebral. He has can throw the ball deep, and he can run the football. So to me, that'd be great for this type of offense, especially having the ability to actually extend drives, not go 3 and out and tire our defense. So I definitely think we have an opportunity there is concerned. And then defensively, I think you'll see almost eerily similar to the 2020 version of this Washington. At the time, was a Washington football team defense that was, getting to the quarterback, very aggressive, and getting that playmaking ability. You bring in especially a guy like Emmanuel Forbes into the field now, and then you also got big playmakers who's the integral part of our run 2020, Cam Curl. So he'll be there, safety. Him and Derek Forrest have became. But I'll wrap momentarily about that one. But you look at just from the standpoint, we'll have the ability to get pressure on quarterbacks. We're pretty deep in the defensive line aspect of it. Our secondary is getting better by the day, and then also you got our 2 safeties in Cam Curl and Derek Forrest. This team is definitely going to be a surprising team to a lot of people in the league. I think, to a man of all, we know what the Commanders possess, but I think outside the NFC East and more so like kind of football pundits, they taking shots. But hey, that's why we play on Sundays. But we here.
Word.
Can I ask Couch Coach one question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Couch Coach, why did Ron Rivera run to the media and tell everybody that the players was crying about Eric Bieniemy actually being tough on him?
I hated that move because it's one of the things where you keep it in house, and it's one of the things where you were anemic on offense. You need to listen to Eric Bieniemy if you want to stay on this team. Unless you want to be a part of that problem, one of the worst offenses in this league, he's here for a reason. He just won a Super Bowl. He's here for a reason. If you talk to him. I don't understand why this whole thing of this hierarchy, like you said, like he's not approachable. And that's the stigma that comes with Eric Bieniemy. That's what, like, those type of things. So then when we sit here in February, we wonder why Matt Nagy got a job, a second go round, and then Eric Bieniemy don't. These type of situations that happen, these type of leaks that happens, it's like it doesn't make any sense. Go to that man. If you got a problem with that man, you go to that man. And that's what I don't understand with this generation. Like, when you solve a problem, you solve with the problem, the person that you have directly.
That's right.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, we know what he's there for, Chris. He's there to take over for
Yeah.
We know the true reason why he's there. Alan, you got any questions for Coach Chris, Washington Commanders guy, as a Cowboys guy?
How you liking your running back room right now? I'm personally a big fan of Antonio Gibson. I think he's that shifty back that can make some plays. I'm not 100% sold on Brian Robinson. I could see maybe they go make a move to get Jonathan Taylor, but is the running game going to be priority, or how do you feel that Bieniemy runs his offense this year?
I think the running back situation could be great. I mean, you look at even like Brian Robinson, even though he missed 5-6 games, he almost had almost 800 yards rushing. So I definitely think he's good on that as well. You got AG as kind of the switch of that. And then also Chris Rodriguez. I definitely think he, if you look at his Kentucky days where, he was another one where if he's healthy, I mean, he's a 1,000-yard runner. So you got that in the fold. So I'm confident, unless barring anything catastrophic injury wise. But I think the Jonathan Taylor thing, and it's funny. I'm in all these groups, and I swear every time it's almost like that's a Daniel Snyder move, in my personal opinion. If you to get Jonathan Taylor, so me, I like what we got. I love what we got.
Nick, jump in here. Anything, questions or comments about the Washington team that you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I haven't heard much about Chase Young. When he came in the league, he looked like he was going to be one of the next dominant pass rushers, and injuries and whatever, he's kind of fizzled the last 2 years. Tell me, how's he look? What's the word in camp? Is he ready to be elite, or is he still struggling? Is he healthy? What's the word with Chase Young?
So, I think with Chase Young, he did have like a stinger injury against Cleveland, but I think he's fine. All reports that he's going, he'll be fine. He'll be ready for week 1. And I think with Chase, I think a lot of it too was just the hyped up expectations. Again, he lived up to it in 2020. 2021 kind of backslided, but also he had that injury coming out that bad in 2021. And necessarily then he came back last year, pretty much at the tail end of the season. So this will be kind of, I think, the first full year besides his rookie year where you can really gauge what he can do. I definitely think he has a lot in the tank, and I've always talked about Chase. He's a leader of this team. he's one of the guys that if you look at him and you see him on the sidelines, he's always engaged. That's one thing where it's easy for you to put your head down, especially you going through that, especially because his expectation essentially was, I'm gonna come back in week 1, but obviously that didn't happen until November. So I definitely think he has that makeup to be the leader of this team, and I think the situation with it, I think he will get those sacks, because to me it's just one of those where who you gonna leave, who gonna get the double team? Somebody's gonna have to, so it's one of those where I definitely think he'll, he may not go back to that rookie campaign per se, but I definitely think he'll get those sack numbers. Him, Sweat, Payne, and Allen, they're gonna get after it. So, and I think they all of them get a crack at it for sure.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh yeah,
I think Chase Young has it's contract year, so I think he balls out. Obviously, that's just my opinion. You always see, especially on the defensive side, when they know it's contract year. Hey man, I don't care what happened.
Gotta get this money.
Oh yeah, I got to get that bread. Somebody's about to pay him. I don't know if it's necessarily Washington, but somebody's.
I've been hearing a lot of rumors about them trading him.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, I don't think
that's such a great response. Hey, let me throw my question out to all three of you guys. Chris, we'll start with you, and then we'll go across. If you had to pick one team that will win your division that is not yours, who are you picking?
Oh, it would probably be the Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately, cool, So yeah, it'd be the
Philadelphia
Eagles. You begrudgingly said that.
It would be Phil. It would be Philly. It would be Philly for me, because I'm sorry, I can't stand Giants fans. Giants fans are just typical New York fans. And Washington, there's bad history there for me personally, but if there was one team I had to, I don't like any of the teams in our division, but if there was one team I had to pick, if there's one person I do support, it's Jalen Hurts, because Boomer Sooner. That's why.
Okay.
So I'll have to say Philadelphia.
Oh man, Cool shook right now, man. Cool look like you don't want no part of this question.
Not cool.
Now you're quiet.
He's soaking it in, like, yeah, Eagles. Yep, Eagles. Yep.
Right, cool. Drop it, cool. We waiting.
Yeah.
The Cowboys.
Oh, you said
whoa.
Oh.
I think they're the top two teams in the division. I think that's fair. I think there's some separation between. I think everyone made the right choice.
When you look at Dallas, I mean, the thing is, they're going to contend with us for the division, right? Like, I feel like we're going to win the division, but I feel like Dallas is going to contend. It's not going to be a runaway. Mm-hmm. So if I can't pick my own team, then I have to pick who I feel is the next best team in the division. And I think that is Dallas. And I mean, I've said all offseason, if you watched any of my other things that I've done, I always say that to me, the three best teams until somebody proves otherwise in the NFC is the San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys. And it's not in order, just those three teams. So I
agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think there's no secret. I even said it on last night on Eagles Elite with Cool. I mean, you look at the NFC. I mean, Cowboys got the talent. Obviously, question marks with the coaching and quarterback. But they can compete talent-wise for talent with San Francisco, with Philly. But to your team, Chris, with the Washington team, obviously I love Eric Bieniemy. I think he's a great offensive mind. There's even that preseason game on Monday. I get it. It's preseason. I know. Don't try to put too much stock in it, but preseason, the reasons why it does matter is because it's kind of giving you a preview of what to expect in the regular season. That's the process and purpose of preseason. And so let's speak on it, man. Sam Howell. How big are you on Sam Howell?
Oh, and I bought this jersey a year ago. So this is when he was a 5th round draft pick. He was 3rd in the depth chart. I'm loving it. And I'm a University of North Carolina football fan. So following his career since high school, and to see him now at this point, I almost felt it's funny when we got him in that pick. I almost felt like we won the Super Bowl. I was just so excited to get him in the fold.
How close are you gonna get? But go ahead.
Oh no, I mean, we'll get there. But yeah,
says the Detroit Lions guy. Says the Detroit Lions guy.
Right.
I think the Detroit Lions is better than the Commanders.
Y'all almost had the same exact record last year, bro. What are you talking about? See, I love it.
Let the man talk, sir. Let the man talk.
Chris. No, fuck that. Chris. No, you see, you damn Lions fans. See, I get it. Y'all getting pumped up. Y'all getting excited. Y'all finally get a primetime game.
They listen to CJ too much. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, they do. Y'all been over there listening to CJ Gardner too much and got y'all hyped up and shit. But come on, man. Hey, man. Hey, what's y'all history looking like? I mean, what
history don't play the game. You start to sound like a Cowboy fan. Why are we talking about history?
Right.
Oh, of course, the Jets fans don't want to talk about history. Of course. Oh my gosh, this shit's ridiculous around here.
History, man. You sound like a woman.
I was gonna say, if he's talking recent history, he's starting to talk like a Patriot fan.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you. I'm sorry, Alan. I apologize for taking a jab at the Cowboys. Way to win me back.
But no, I think Eric Bieniemy is a dope offensive mind, and you brought up a good point, Chris, about when you see this shit that gets leaked out to the media and it plays an part on him getting head coaching jobs. But I got to be honest, man. I was jokingly and saying he's there to replace Ron, but how do you feel about it? Is that your next coach? I mean, it's kind of feeling that way, and just the dynamic setup.
I think it's a possibility. I'm just unsure what this management group, obviously with Josh Harris and and minority owner Magic Johnson, I just don't know how they're gonna go, and I think that's where it's gonna be interesting. I think, in my personal opinion, I think it does lean that way because I definitely think that might be his only option per se. Yeah. If this team, even if this team is somewhat successful, I still think it's leaning towards that. So I'm really curious how that will really play out. Like as far as and hopefully I'm thinking Ron Rivera will go to the go upstairs to a executive position and keep everybody around. So
Nick, you're not talking about cock ring.
Raise your hand.
No, because everybody has their hand up, but Detroit Mail. But we should say, have you been alive to see a Super Bowl ring? And then the hands will go back down. So
technically,
he said technically.
Technically, I was a year old when they won their second year. So
you're alive. You're alive.
I was 7. Yeah, I was 7.
Hey, I got championship banners before the Super Bowl era.
Yeah.
Hey, I've seen everything. If it's a championship, I want to claim it.
No. This was fun. So before we get out of here, Alan, give us your final words of your Cowboys and where to find your content at, my guy.
Well, you can find me on the Let's Talk Sports Network. I'm do this, that, and everything else. And me personally, I think the Cowboys will probably finish short again because that just seems to be the pattern of how it is. I still think. I mean, hey,
rational Cowboys.
You gotta be at least happy that you're consistently being a playoff team. But the problem is they can't win any playoff games. They just can't. Unless you're playing, 50-year-old Tom Brady who's in a walking boot. So
whoa, wait! What do we got against walking boots, bro? I had a toe amputated 2 months ago. I got one on. What do we got against walking boots?
Coming up short, exactly. Anyway,
white on.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you realize last year was the first road playoff win they've had since '92?
Wow.
Yes, we did.
That has been that long. So
you'll probably get another one this year. Who are you going to play? You're going to play the Saints. You're going to get probably the 5 seed. You're going to play the Saints, who probably are the lowest division winner.
Saints, whoever the team that comes out of the North, because
whoever comes out of the South. The South. I'm not saying the North is great, but the South
is worse. Yeah, the South is pretty bad.
But if you want to do something fun, go look at the quarterback opponents for the Saints. Their defense is a sleeper defense in fantasy. They only play 2 top 15 quarterbacks. They play Goff, they play Stafford. They don't play anybody, the Saints. They play Ritter twice. They play all the low quarterbacks.
AFC South. They play the AFC South too.
They have the schedule that the NFC East had last year. They got the cupcake schedule this year.
Yeah, they did. Chris, jump in here real quick. Give us your last thoughts on your Washington Commanders and where the folks can find your content at, my guy.
Yeah, I definitely think we will shock the NFL world. I think a lot of people will see that this is actually a good football team. This is not going to be a team that's going to be under 500. And just looking forward to it. And and we'll have some wars in the NFC East. It's going to be another great year in this division. I can see all 4 of us having the same success as far as being over 500. So pretty much
AFC East.
I will say this. I think Washington finishes higher than New York this year. I think the Giants are going to fall apart.
Yeah, we play, but I think we still be good though. I mean,
everybody at like the NFC East only won games because of who we played. Right. I mean, you got to play all these teams. You know what I'm saying?
Most of us beat each other. Well, most of us.
Some years are easier.
You guys know this. Anytime you watch an NFC East game, you have to at least have 1 bottle of Jack Daniels on the side, just because of how crazy it can be.
Your nerves are shot. That's why it's like. It's right. This is when you have to drink your water, check your blood pressure,
especially make sure you catch the ball, go down, and then go get up and run and fumble.
Yeah, get your. We got to get our rest, especially if we got an 8:00 game, because Lord knows that heart rate gonna be going from 8:30 to 11:00 at night. So it's a war. But I'm definitely looking forward to the season. Pretty much you can find me on Couch Coach Live. Pretty much the podcast couchcoachlive.com and social media anywhere you get your podcast Couch Coach Live.
Nice.
Hey, Chris, can I ask you one question?
Yes, sir.
I have one myself. That blue, red, and white sideline tag behind you, is that Pop Warner Super Bowl pass?
No, that's actually a Mystics a Mystics credential pass.
Okay.
I got.
Yes.
I coached in Woodbridge, New Jersey. And what?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
No, I'm tagging. I'm just fucking with Nick.
Don't get me fired.
No, because I was saying Chris supports women's sports. I was.
Oh, anyway. I thought you were saying that Nick coach football for grooming.
Yeah, cool. Hey, cool. Give us your last thoughts about the Philadelphia Eagles and where you can find.
I fixed it. I threw his ass out of here. I fixed it.
All right. So, real quick. So there are the other concerns on the team. Obviously, Brian Johnson, a new OC. Right? How is the offense going to work under him? He was elevated from the staff, so he's on the staff last year. He's been around Jalen Hurts since high school, so he knows Jalen Hurts a lot. They have a good bond, so he's a guy that should be able to have his ear and kind of, they have that good rapport, which you want between your quarterback, your star quarterback, and your offensive coordinator. But just how all the pieces play, what changes he's going to make, if he's going to be have a larger set of kahunas than his predecessor, who had the mid-sized ones. That, so just things like that, man. You don't know. It may take a little time for everybody to get used to differences in the verbiage, differences in sets he wants to run, different things like that. You hope you run those things out through training camp in the preseason, but it's nothing like game action, especially since a lot of teams, including ours, don't really have the starters out in the preseason. You got to work those bugs out early in the season. And then also, as was mentioned earlier, Sean Desai has taken over as the DC. I think he's going to bring a similar style, but hopefully more aggressive. And hopefully this crazy thing called playing some type of man defense sometimes, maybe actually blitzing extra people, crazy stuff. We'll do some of that this year, right? Besides just sit back in 5-yard zone and send five,
you guys
maybe
five.
Over
there. Guys, I know you mentioned wrestling before. Bray Wyatt passed away.
No way.
My buddy posted per Triple H, the world just lost WWE superstar Bray Wyatt.
I know he had been sick. Dang. I know he had been sick, but
no way.
He was sick?
No, okay.
Yeah, he was sick because he was supposed to be on TV and he got taken off because he was sick. And I know he had been sick. He was sick before, but that kind of ruined it.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. All right. I'm gonna look into that, but yeah, go ahead, cool.
Yeah, I just saw the post too. That's crazy.
Just received a call from WWE Hall of Famer Mike Rotunda, who informed me of the tragic news that our WWE family member for life, Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, unexpectedly passed away earlier today. Our thoughts with his family, and we ask everyone to respect their privacy at this time. Shit.
Damn, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But sorry, I know you mentioned wrestling earlier, cool. So I know we talk it sometimes on here as well.
Try to, man. Okay, I'm gonna try to pull it together here. That'd be professional, right? So, I think he's gonna bring some new blood to it. He's gonna bring some more aggression, and we're gonna be more of a adaptable defense. We didn't see a lot of adapting last year. A lot of if teams found out what we were doing, we weren't changing anything. We were just saying we're going to continue to do the same thing, and somehow we're going to find a way to win. And I don't think that was the right move. I think that hurt a lot. And I think now that we have, a guy that's going to kind of utilize the talent that we have in the correct way, I hope and pray it can't be worse. That we're gonna, the defense is going to be better in key situations. I think it played well overall last year because of the talent. But those key situations, right? Those 3rd and 7s where you, don't want a penalty, you don't want to give up a first down, you can give up 6 yards, but not 7. Those type of plays, I think we have a better chance of making those plays as long as one guy does not lose his ever-loving mind, and that's Derek Barnett. Having Derek Barnett back on his team because he was hurt last year scares me because this is a walking penalty. This guy is a loose cannon. He's freaking Brian Pillman in the team, bro. He's always in some kind of foolishness. He's always pushing somebody. He's always fighting somebody. He's always getting a penalty for hitting somebody late. So if he can cut down that and be more under control, Derek Barnett's a really good player, but he got to be smarter up here. So I mean, that's where my concerns lie with the team. A lot of people want to talk about Sirianni. Sirianni does not call plays for offense or defense, and he's not going to this year. So as long as he does what the head coach is supposed to do, his coordinators do their job, we should be getting back to the promised land, and hopefully this time we can cash out.
Hey, cash it out. Where can they find you at, Cool?
I'll make it quick this time, y'all. No more novellas. So most nights, just go to playcallersportstalk.com/live. You'll see my content there. If you don't see it there, right, the only other place that you can find my content directly from me is at Eagles Elite Podcast, youtube.com/at Eagles Elite Podcast. I'm there Tuesday. I'm there Saturday. NFC Beast, which Couch Close is also a part of, and on Wednesday nights when we do the Eagles Elite show. But yeah, man, lots of content, man. Y'all gonna see me back up here because I'm gonna make Mar bring me back. And have a good time.
Nah, no doubt. Alan, Chris, Cool. I appreciate you fellas for sure. Always tap in with all that content for sure. Proud New York Jets fans, for all you Jets fans with Big Homie Nick Shine. No Name Podcast for you Detroit Lions fans. There might be only 2 of y'all in the world, but y'all can give viewers that needs. And then, of course, tap in with me, Wildcard Chief, all you Chief fans out there. So, hey, but don't feel too bad, Detroit man. There's only about 3 Jets fans out there in the world, and they all follow. So, but no, it's been a pleasure.
People don't even know what state your team plays in. Calm down, buddy. We're the big city over here. We don't even know if you're in Missouri, if you're in Kansas. Calm the hell down.
Don't go geographical. Y'all call yourselves New York, but y'all always play in Jersey. Y'all been in Jersey. Come on, don't do that. Don't do that. Come on.
Great for me. I don't have to pay $20 to go across the river. Fantastic. I'm not Brendan.
I can't. But y'all know what it is.
Exit 12 on the turnpike. It's exit 18, bro. It's 20 minutes up the road. Straight shot, man. Even in my drinking days, you could keep the wheel straight. It was easy.
You see everything on the bottom of your screen. I.O.W Sports Network, Facebook, Instagram, and of course here on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification, let you know every time we drop content. And then, hey, give a shout out to all these great content creators right here on the panel. Shout out to Wise who joined us earlier as our Giants representative. Hey, I gotta say this: NFC East and AFC North has represented themselves very well on our preview shows. We had a representative for each team, and so I'm not saying that's a precursor to who might be in the Super Bowl, but if one of those teams comes out of those 2 divisions, just remember, it was because of the I.O.W charm. That's all it was.
No, man. I think we'll be all right.
But no, we appreciate you guys. Hey, and tap in with us. We're going to do a night show tonight. I fell asleep last night. I was tired as hell, but it's all good. And then we got to, keep supporting each other. And hey, this podcast community, we're going to keep growing this podcast bubble and just keep growing it. And hey, because I think ESPN and FS1 are getting mad at all us content creators. They trying to get rid of us, but it's all good. Until next
you
time.
You went to bed early, man. You get tired running that damn mouth all day. You get exhausted.
I can't wait till y'all go 7-10 this year. And I'm gonna give you hell if y'all don't make it to the playoffs. Hell, if y'all don't even win that division, I ain't gonna give Jets fans hell. I'm gonna give you hell.
You're gonna block me by like week 4.
No.
11:45 on October 1st.
I got you blocked already.
When we beat you here, I know, man. I don't even try to reach out to you, man. When we beat you on October 1st, I'll do it with witnesses. When we beat you on October 1st, and I message you to talk shit. No, you know what? I'll wait for you to message me. We'll see how long it takes. Loser messages the winner. Congratulations.
No. If my squad lose, matter of fact, we'll do a pop-up show and you'll be the first guest. How about that? And then I'll let you have your little 30 minutes of glow. But I doubt it. But it's all right. But anyway, y'all,
you're gonna be real mad when we beat you in January too, bro.
I.O.W Sports Network. Y'all know what it is. Tap in with us. We out of here. Peace and love to everybody. We'll see y'all Monday for another episode of I.O.W Sports.
Peace out, y'all.
Yes, y'all. It's your boy Wildcard Mar here, and I'm excited, folks. I hope you are, because football is back, baby. Yes, it is. And what better way to celebrate football being back by joining the I.O.W Sports Football Pick'em League. It gives you an opportunity as football fans to test your football knowledge if you can pick the winners of each game for 18 straight weeks. But please believe, it's going to be some stiff competition out there because we've done this for the last 3 years. Of course, you're looking at the inaugural winner, Melvin Wall from Man Down Sports, our year 2 winner. You see him rocking the championship belt. And then, of course, I.O.W Sports' very own Jersey Boy MJ won the Pick'em League last year. He walked away with the championship belt, bragging rights, but most importantly, $200 cash. We gonna up that pot this year, y'all. Get a chance to win $300 cash, the championship belt, and bragging rights. So in order to join the Football Pick'em League, here's how you do it. You must pay an entry fee of $10. Send it to either PayPal, Zelle, or Cash App. Give us your email, and in return, we will give you the link to join the group league. And after that, it's up to you. Y'all think you know how to pick NFL games for 18 straight weeks? You want the bragging rights? You want the championship belt? You want the $300 cash? Join the league. September 7th will be here in no time, so you don't want to wait too long. You don't want to hesitate at a chance of winning some cash, a championship belt, and bragging rights. Until then, keep enjoying all this I.O.W Sports content on I.O.W Sports Network, Facebook,